Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close for, March 26th. Holy banana bread. This month is almost over. We do have a red day. So we had a little bit of red in the market today. We're going to take a look at that here in all one moment. Of course, we're into an election cycle as well. So we're going to look at the polls later. Yeah, we get all kinds of fun. Let's though start with the market. Let's just pull on up the market. We're looking here at the TSX, and we are in the red. Holy banana bread! But look at this up here at the top. Holy cow! We actually peaked. We peaked into the green on Monday. We peaked into the green, but we're back. We're back into the red. The green the green month said, nope, I want nothing to do with this, and sent us back. So we are currently 0.86% down today. We got a few days. The TSX does have a chance. Believe it or not, we have a chance of ending the month in the green. We're going to have to see. We'll have to see. Obviously, we'll find out Friday. If you guys do want a stream on Friday for supers or, member invites or whatever, any of that stuff, we'll certainly do that. Okay, looking at the S&P 500, they're also in the red today. They're down 1.24%. Now, with them, let's keep scrolling. There it is. There's the blue line. They're out of it. I say for a miracle, they're probably not going to compete for that blue line at all. They're going to have a red month. There's no hands, ifs or buts about it. It's pretty, yeah. It's a red month. Same idea with the Nasdaq. Like, take a look. Nasdaq's a little bit closer, but yeah, it's still out of reach. Nasdaq is actually down a full 2.03% today. Dow Jones down 0.41%, and they're quite a ways down. So I don't see any of the U.S. indices having a green month. So it'll either be the TSX or no one. The TSX or no one. There we go. Gold today is slightly down, 0.09%. So I'll call that flat. I'll call that flat. Silver down 0.42%. Now WTI, look at this. Oil's up 1.05%. So at least somebody in the commodity area is doing okay. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum are in the red. Bitcoin down almost 1%. Ethereum down about 3%. All right, let's pull up the heat map and take a look. See if there's anything in here that looks even remotely good. We got a lot of red. Right across the board. Although I will say that the railroads, they're doing good. Both CP and CNR are both up more than 1%. So you got to take what you can take on a day like this. Also in the energy, like look at this. Well, here's one like ARCs. So ARC Resources, they're having a pretty good day. So there's a few good stories, but for the most part, yeah, everybody's down. Even Constellation Software down 1.41. Royal Bank's down 0.5%. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're down a full 1.85%. Looking at the U.S., similar story. A lot of red. Microsoft's down. Look at this. Google's down. It's not a good day to be one of the fabulous seven. That's for sure. Google's down. Meta's down. Nvidia down 5.77. Oh boy. Amazon's down. Tesla down 6.47. What can I say? Consumer non-durable. Look at this. Procter and Gamble's having a good day. Coke's having a good day. That's not too shabby. We got something. A Pepsi as well. There we got a small little area of McDonald's. Are you feeling it? McDonald's, have a fillet of fish and say, yay. All right. I'm looking at crypto. Oh boy. A lot of red here as well. As you can see, Bitcoin is down. Ethereum's almost down 3%. XRP's down. Solana's down. Now, Dogecoin is actually up a little bit. So that's not too shabby. And what the heck is this? Trillionaire. No idea what this is, but it is up. Apparently up about, yeah, it's apparently up. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There are so many coins out there. Quite literally, there's more than 15,000 of these crap coins out here. It's a red day, so let's just pick some loser who is in the green today. I guess we could have stuck with Trillionaire, but we'll grab this one here. Ideology. My ideology does not involve buying crap coins, so maybe, I don't know if that's what they mean, but look at them. They're worth a fraction of a penny, not very much. Oh boy, this looks, like I said, and I've said, I'm a broken record right now. Broken record me. I wouldn't even touch these guys with a 10-foot pole. If you want to gamble with a crap coin, for one, don't invest anything you're not willing to lose, because you probably will lose it. Number two, stick to the good coins. Stick to your Bitcoins, your Ethereum, your Solana, even your Dogecoin. You're gonna be you'll be in much better shape, for sure. Oh boy. All right. Oh, what can I say? All right. Actually, you know what? Before I get to the chat, and I see you guys hitting up there, let's just very quickly take a look at the poll for the day and see see where we're at. Oh boy. Now they're updating this daily now. This is the CBC poll tracker. Now they do an average across a whole bunch of different polls, and right now they've got Carney in at 40%. He has moved up a little bit from yesterday. Now conservatives, Pierre is in the same spot. Now he has not moved. So this extra growth from the liberals, well, it's coming from the New Democrats and the Green Party. They both lost a little bit of support. Jagmeet not winning over the voters, So what can I say? We'll see how this, of course, progresses. If this were to turn into seats right now, they're saying we're in liberal majority territory, 184, 130 for the conservatives, 23 for the bloc. Look at this, four seats for the NDP. Oh boy, you see, and that's the story. The story here is the fall of the NDP. All of the NDP voters, they're basically saying we got to stop Pierre, and they're hitching their wagons up to the liberals. That's where a lot of that support is coming from. A few green as well. So yeah, it's not looking good early for Pierre and the conservatives, but a lot of time left for things to change, and a lot of time to get their message on track to see if they can pull this in. I did want to show you guys something else here as well. These, let's see here. All right, so these are all of the polls that this here looks at. So if you're ever curious, like, oh, well, what polls? So these are all of the different polls. And in fact, one of them, let me see here. There was one. At least the last time I was here, there was one that actually did have the conservatives winning. Not anymore. They're now all agreeing. So looking at the trends right now, the conservatives have got some work to do if they want to get back to the glory that they had earlier in the year. All right. Enough with the polls. We got a bell in 6 minutes, but let's take a gander at the chat. Jonathan wants to know, am I late for the classified group chat? Oh boy, yes, I'm sure you've all heard about that, but they had a big attack on the Houthi. And yeah, all of the bigwigs, U.S. bigwigs, had a group chat about it and accidentally invited a reporter. What a mess. But hey, what can we say? Rory is in the house, and hi, did a quick trade on HOD today. Ooh, I hope it was successful because I did notice that oil was up, and normally that's not the direction you want oil to go. But I'm hoping you managed to catch a dip in there. Bleak says, "Hey chat, hello Bleak, good to see you." Isaac says, "I bought some BHC and DND today." Nice, nice. We got AA in the house with a hello. Smug Doug bought some CN in my kids' RESP. Yes, I actually did add some more CNR to the 0 to 100K challenge this time around because, got to take advantage. Got to take advantage. Rory says, trying to get XEQT under $34. Nice. Well, we got April 2nd coming up. And that with the reciprocal tariffs dropping, there's a chance we could see some market movement. Now, there's also talk as well that that we could hear as early as tomorrow. We could hear about some auto tariffs that Trump is mulling over at the moment. Cowboy says, "Afternoon all." Smug Doug says, "Hoping to buy some J&J, so Johnson & Johnson on the next tip." Nice. Jonathan says, "That's how you say trillionaire in Canadian." I'm pretty sure we don't have any Canadian trillionaires, but that would be funny. That'd be funny. Smug Doug says, "I'm hoping inflation makes me a trillionaire. I'm a trillionaire in Argentine pesos." Nice, nice. That is, I have a feeling that's in relation to the polls. Let's see. If the NDP actually folds as a party, then the progressive vote unites in Canada, and we are done for a long time. Yeah, that's the thing. I have a feeling like what we're seeing right now with the NDP voters, with them sort of jumping ship and going over to the Liberals, I don't see it as being a forever thing. I have a feeling they'll go back next election, but I think it's just because of the perception of how important the election is and how important it is dealing with Trump. That might be what is motivating them this time. So, but yeah, if we had a merger of the Liberals and the NDP, it would be difficult. It would be difficult for the Conservatives. I'm not going to lie about that. I think it would be very difficult. Mind you, we used to have a split on the left, and that was actually really hurting the Conservatives back in the days of the Reform Party, and that was back when we had the Progressive Conservatives, and then we had the Reform Party, which sort of not splintered, but popped up in the West. And then they merged to become the new Conservative Party. But yeah, so that sort of helped by uniting the right. And if we got that on the left, boy, it would be tough. It would be tough. I have a feeling. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it will happen. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. We got about a minute and a half until the bell. So by the way, if you are not liking loud noise or you got your earphones on, just know there's going to be a loud noise in roughly 1 minute and 10 seconds. So, either turn the volume down or pull the ears out as we get there. I'll try to give a 10-second warning before the bell. Mario says, "Good afternoon, everyone." AA says, "Strange, poll doesn't match with the sentiments that I see in people. Maybe I only meet the wrong people." Well, keep in mind, a poll too, it's only, it's a small group of people, and, and polls get things wrong all the time. The big thing, and I've talked about this before, it's not what the poll says. It's more or less watching the trends in the poll so that you can see that the Liberals are surging. That gives you an idea that they're doing it right. Okay, guys, we've got about 20 seconds until the bell. I actually have the bell right here. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, it's all about the trends when it comes. And I actually just dropped a short. I just did a short on that just because I was like, what should I do a short about? And I'm like, let's do it about polls and trends. Why not? All right, here we go, guys. It is time. And the market is closed. Woohoo! There we go. Love it, love it. All right. Mary is in the house. And guys, Mary is the unofficial captain of the like button. So if you have not yet hit that like button, hit it right now. I'm going to have some coffee because you guys are going to be busy clicking that button, turning it blue. Oh, God, that's so good. All right. Rory says, I was up on HOD, got in at the gap down at 6, got out at 6:07. Will gap down again tomorrow, in my opinion. Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, as long as, and this is what I always say with HOD. And those of you who don't know what HOD, that is an inverse oil ETF. So when oil goes down, it goes up. So, and it also uses, I believe it's 2x leverage. So, it can move pretty quick. So I always say with using an inverse ETF like that, you want to be careful. You want to, you don't want to leave it unattended, because if oil were to spike while you went to, let's say you went to go have a sandwich, you could come back and be like, oh, banana bread, it spiked, and then you're kind of stuck for a bit. So it is one of those things. It is one of those things. Now, with something like HOD, if you do play it and it does, all of a sudden oil turns on you, that panic to jump out is kind of there. But the nice thing about oil is it does move up and down quite regularly. So you can probably salvage it, but it ties up whatever money you're using in it. It's tied up for a bit. Until you get back, until you can get back. But I will warn you, if you are faint of heart, be careful. HOD can move fast, and it can move in the wrong direction fast. So be careful. Be careful. That's my end on HOD. Be careful. Brian says, I'm holding off buying until April 2nd. Give the market time to adjust. I assume it will be down even if it is less tariffs. Yeah. That's the thing. Nobody really knows. Now, he says that for some countries, he may go a little bit lighter. I have a feeling Canada's not going to be one of those countries. I mean, we are, according to Trump, the leader of the dirty 15 countries who are doing America wrong. So I'm thinking we're going to see some sales. I think we'll see some stuff on sale on the 2nd. Rory says, yeah, I'm waiting for April 2nd panic as well. Yep. We're almost like, it's funny. We're a group of people that we wait for the general population to panic so we can buy stuff. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. There's probably a word for us. I don't know what it is, but there is. Cowboy is in the house. With a Trump is not the issue. Trump did not ruin the economy and cost of living in Canada. That's all on the Liberals. All right. And AA says, what's the best cash ETF in your opinion? I love this question. I love this question. I love it. I love it. I love it because in 2 days, on the 28th, I will be buying. Actually, tomorrow I will be selling on the 27th. On the 28th, I'm going to be buying. And let me explain. Let's get out of the tracker here, the poll tracker, and let's head over here. So, first of all, currently, I am sitting in cash. So cash right now, it's sitting at $50.08. I always buy on the ex-dividend day so I can get in at $50 because, hey, that's just me. So this one here, so cash, I like cash. I do like them, but holy cow, come on, stop misbehaving. It's misbehaving. Okay, here we go. It's got its dividend yield 3.773. So this is the reason that I'm getting out, because I found one with a better yield, and it's the same price. Now, if I can just get it to work, holy banana bread. It's having some scrolling issues right now. It's having scrolling issues. All right, there we go. So what I'm looking at now is TCSH. This is a newer one. Seriously, come on, come back. All right. Let's try now. T. Okay, there we go. CSH. All right, it's working now. Slowly, slowly. I probably have way too many things open. I think I have way too many things open, but that's fine. All right, so T Cash. This is the TD Cash Management ETF. Come on, T Cash, open up, please. All right. Well, it hopefully it will open sooner than later. Sooner than later, I'm hoping. What the banana bread is going on with that? I am gonna close a couple windows. I'm gonna close some windows here. Let me just close. I probably have between all of the things I have open and tabs. I got a lot. I got a lot. All right. There, I closed a few. We'll see if that will do it. All right. I'm just going to quit a couple things here. Holy banana bread. You know what? I feel like the last week has been nothing but, it's been nothing but technical issues. All right. Come on, guys. All right. So Tcash. If I can't pull it up, I'll simply talk about it. They are offering a higher yield. So I believe their yield is about 4 point. Oh, look, I got a little thing now. I think it's around 4 point, is it 4.3? It's either 4.3 to 4.5. So I am going to, as I mentioned here, they both have the same ex-dividend day, which is the 28th. So that's the best time to buy. So I'm going to sell on the 27th and buy on the 28th for this one here. So I'm switching from cash to Tcash, TCSH. So is it the best? I don't know if it's the best or not, but it's better. It's offering me more money than the other one. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work big time. All right. I can't believe that that's giving me so much problems. I may have to start actually rebooting my computer one of these days. All right. Rory says HOD can get nasty. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to bring this up here for the moment because that computer is just not doing its thing. That monitor, for whatever reason. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, HOD can get really, really, really nasty because it moves like it's moving at 2x. So if you think about the normal movement of the market, this thing is moving twice as fast in either direction. So it does get pretty bad. Oh, guys, it finally came up. It finally came up. Let's pull it back. What the banana bread? Now it's not letting me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, I got way too many windows. I'm gonna have to start closing windows. I hate that. I hate that. Like I've got a very powerful computer, so I'm like I should never have to close a window, but right now I'm getting this sluggishness that is like, what the heck? Come on, you stupid computer. Hello. I do not even know where I am at the moment. There we go. Gosh. All right. It's definitely having some issues for sure. What the heck? Oh, that's my fault. I probably shouldn't have even come over here. I should have just left it alone the way that we were doing. So yeah, what can I say? All right. So you said you're going to sell on the 27th. Won't you be missing the dividend? Yeah. I will be missing. I will miss that one dividend. But here's the thing. I'm gonna make more, and obviously it'll take probably a couple of cycles or so before I make back that one dividend that I'm gonna miss. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, quite literally. And it's not like I'm talking about. I mean, we're talking about 10, I think right now. No, 15. I think I have 15 shares of cash. So it's not, it's not going to really hurt. It's not going to hurt that bad. It really isn't. And like I said, a year from now, I'll have made more when it comes to Well, provided I'm not cashing it out. Yeah, there we go. It's working. It's working for Rory. No, it's I think I have way too many things open. I think that's what's killing me. All right. And I'm just slowly as I'm talking, I'm closing things. I'm actually closing things to see if I can get it to I don't know, to help out a little bit. So there we go. I just closed a whole bunch of other things. I don't know if that's going to help. No. I'm still like it won't yeah. It's like it's there we go. Oh. Oh my god. I saw it go by. I saw it go by. It's like come back. Come back. All right. Come on. Gimme. There. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's actually there. We have 4.5. All right. Yeah. So 4.537%. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right. Yeah. Like I said, I think I got too many things open. There's just way too many things open on my well, it's not that I think I always have this many things open. But every so often, if this starts to happen, it means I actually have to shut all my screens down and then reboot, actually do a complete reboot. So normally I have this computer, like I just put it to sleep at night. But every so often, like probably I'd say maybe every 3 months, it just all of a sudden will get sluggish and it's like, yeah, it's time for a reboot. So yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need. What's with Timber Creek? Oh, yeah, Timber Creek has definitely been disappointing. So Timber Creek Financial, I mean, and I hold them in the challenge. So they normally will behave very much like a REIT, but also keep in mind REITs had a little bit of an issue as well. So let's just say the whole sector has been very disappointing, and Timber Creek even more so. Now, they are what's called an MIC, so that there is a mortgage investment company. So I still have faith in them. Like, I still like Timber Creek overall, and I'm not going to sell. Like, I will not take them at a loss. I know that they're going to be fine on the other side of this, but I think with a lot of this crap that's going on between the tariffs, a possible recession, it is hurting them. It is hurting them. Now that's kind of where they're going to be a little bit different than a REIT. I think the REITs, as we get a little bit better of like once we have the tariffs in place and people get used to it, I think REITs are then going to start recovering. Now, mind you, RioCan may be one that takes a little bit longer because of what's happened with the Bay, and they, because they basically leased most of the property, not most of their property, but most of the Bays got their property through RioCan. So that's going to be fun. There we go. Yeah, monthly distribution of is NVIDIA dropping? I wonder if I can actually, oh yeah, you see, I know it's not the site because I'm getting even a little bit of sluggishness here, but let's hit up NVIDIA here. There they are right there. So yeah, look at this. I mean, NVIDIA's had a pretty bad day overall. That's a lot of dropping today. Now in the post, they're down a little bit more in the post. So yeah, what can we say? On the reboot, make sure you power down and not just restart. Oh yeah, no, I will do a complete power down. Let the because yeah, once you completely remove the power from the RAM, then it clears that memory out. It clears that memory out because when you just do a restart, it doesn't. There's still power going to the RAM, and as a result, it will still hold a lot of that memory. So, and RAM, for those of you who are not really that computer active, that's your random access memory, all of that fun stuff. So, yeah. Roku says, if you use Chrome, it will put inactive tabs to sleep and free up the resources. I don't really use Chrome. Like I use Chrome for one of my windows. And that's this one here, the one that I'm using StreamYard in, because it will not work in Safari. But yeah, most of my windows are all Safari because I'm running on a Mac Studio. All right. Rory says I power down every 2 days. And oh, yeah. Hi, Roku. Good in there as well. Vic says, checked out the Bay, terrible deals, many things full price and terrible size selection. Oh, yeah. So the good old Bay. I know I saw some stuff on CBC as well, like people going in to buy those funky mittens with the different colors. And you can get blankets like that as well. Though I'll tell you, those blankets are not that great. I think they're kind of scratchy if you ask me. So I wouldn't buy one. I wouldn't buy one. Yeah, I mean it's nice that they're not completely, shutting everything down. Like they're going to keep about 6 stores open. So, still, it's kind of an interesting thing. But at the same time, honestly, if I ask you guys in chat, when is the last time you legitimately, before going into checkout for deals, legitimately just went to the Bay to shop? Like, honestly, I have not been in a Bay in probably a decade, if not longer. I pretty much, I pretty much do all of my shopping online. I gotta confess to it. It's just that, I very rarely go to a place like the Bay. And it's been about a decade. So yikes. So yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I don't know. It's just, I have a feeling, and it's kind of interesting. Like I remember back in the day when Eaton's was closing. Actually, the funny thing is, I got ambushed by the CBC when Eaton's was. I was actually in an Eaton store, and I was coming out of an Eaton store when a reporter wanted to interview me, and I was like, okay, sure. So I got on the thing, and she was asking me about my opinion on Eaton's, and I got into this. I went off on a tangent on the CBC. So I went off and I was like, let's talk about Walmartism. I was going on about how Walmart was, powering out a lot of the local smaller stores, and even Eaton's is small compared to Walmart. So I gave this thing, and it was about a 2-minute thing. So I was just like, and this was actually, it was in Kelowna. So I watched it on the CBC on that night. And I was like, okay, I wonder how much they actually kept of what I said. And it was funny. They started off with my interview, and then they kept up my whole speech. But they were doing a montage. They did a montage of Eaton's, of all kinds of Eaton's footage as my speech continued in the background. I was just like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. So anyway, yeah, that was. But even back then, and I was kind of thinking that something like the Bay, it doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me like the Bay, Sears. Pretty much all of our big retailers except for Walmart. That was kind of where my headset was, and that was quite a while ago. That was like 1999, I think, right around 2000. So yeah, my mindset. So that's even more than a decade. That's like 20 years, 25 years ago. Holy banana bread, time really flies. Brian says, I honestly don't think the Bay will last 6 stores for distribution. It's not very cost effective. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. As much as I hate to say it, that they've already they just don't hold that same thing anymore. I mean, like I said, I don't think anybody really uses the Bay. All right, holy banana bread. We got ourselves a tariff payment from the banana bread company. So that makes them the GOAT. So the banana bread company is now our GOAT, and the swag meter gets pushed up to 15. So it's slowly getting there. You never know. If we do a Friday show, you never know. We might get to that the free swag giveaway. That'd be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. But anyway, thank you very much, a banana bread company. You guys rock as always. Actually, the Banana Bread Company, I think, is one of the top super folks when it comes to total supers. So they're up at the top, that's for sure. All right, there we go. Let me get back to the regular comments. Gotta love it. So yeah, like I was saying, I I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it was kind of nice for nostalgia when they brought back the Zellers, but at the same time, I never went to one of these new Zellers that were inside of the bay. So obviously, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if there's any of the Zellers, these new Zellers. Are they in any of these 6 stores that are being left open? That I don't know. That I don't know. But um, let's go back to politics for a tiny bit here. On the campaign trail today, I know that Carney was asked a little bit about China, because China's basically been coming out saying, hey, we're kind of open to a free trade agreement with Canada. But of course, there's a whole bunch of conditions. The big condition being, of course, that they want all of the restrictions on Chinese investment in Canada removed. Carney's response to that is that he was like, "I'm not really that interested in in trade agreements with China. I would rather have trade agreements with Europe." So that's where the title sort of comes from. So yeah, so Carney is kind of pushing towards that whole European idea, and there's been a lot of strange European stuff lately. There's been a lot of talk. I've seen that Canada should join the EU. That would be interesting. I don't know if that would happen. But here's the weirdest thing I've heard this week. Trump floated the idea of the United States becoming a Commonwealth country. When I heard that, I'm like, what? Where did that come from? So you just gotta, like, I don't know, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But could you imagine? For one, I don't think it would happen. I don't think. I mean, it's kind of like, if anything, it would completely upset the balance of the Commonwealth. So I don't see it happening. But I was just really surprised. And yeah, I mean, Trump comes out with a lot of things, but every so often he'll come out with something that even for him I thought was surprising. That was one of them. That was one of them for sure. Rory says Pierre's crowds are large and very active. Carney's crowd is like a funeral. Oh boy, let's not bring crowd size into Canadian politics. We'll leave that for Trump. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I haven't really been watching, paying attention to a lot of the crowd size. But I'll keep my eyes open. I'll watch for that, Rory. I'll watch for sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely and that's the thing. And keep in mind, once again, I mean, with the polls, as I mentioned before, you got to take them with a grain of salt. But it's not, it's not how many seats the poll is predicting. What it's all about, though, is looking at trends. So, like right now, from the poll that we looked at earlier, what we can see, and this is what we can see. What we can see is that the Liberals are gaining some momentum at the expense of the NDP, and a little bit on from the Green as well. But that's where we see them pulling their support. So right now, they're not pulling anything from the Tories. So the Conservatives are doing fine. They're not losing support, but the Tories what they need to do is, you have this core group of voters in Canada. They're not really right. They're not really left. They kind of live in the middle, and their vote can go either way. And when Trudeau was when Trudeau was still running the Liberal Party, and with his unpopularity, all of those people, they were pretty much over there on the Conservative side. They're like, yeah, because it wasn't even so much a vote for the Conservatives, it was a vote against Trudeau. So now that's the group of people that I believe Pierre needs to be targeting. And I'll tell you another thing. I will tell you another thing that Pierre probably wants to do is nada when it comes to the NDP. Because why? Well, every NDP or every person you convince not to vote for the NDP appears to be going to the Liberals. So why not insult the NDP at all? Just leave them alone. And maybe if by leaving them alone, a few more people decide to vote NDP, those are a few more people who are not voting Liberal. So that would be kind of a thing I would think for Poilievre, just as a way to, a way to try to sort of understand what's going on and how to utilize it. And we're going to talk, like on the weekend, on this Sunday, we're going to talk about the path of victory for both parties and what they need to do. And obviously that'll come in play. That'll come into play, I think, as well. Brian says, a king bowing to a real king. Oh, yes. That'll be interesting. That would be interesting as well. I mean, if he joins the Commonwealth, does that mean that the king has to go on the back of the U.S. Currency now? I mean, who knows? It could be very interesting. Cowboy says, Carnage wants EU membership like we are not taxed enough. Yeah, that would be interesting. The only thing I like with the EU is I'm all for free trade. Anything to open up our trade relationship with them. I don't think we have to actually join the EU to have a good relationship with the EU. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see, with paid professional mourners, with really clean safety vests. All right, let's see. Never believe a poll. The Liberals could be asking their mothers if they are handsome. Oh boy. We get another super. Mary is in with a 139 super, and that, of course, well, that pushes us up to 16 on the swag meter, and that means that Mary is now our goat. We got a new goat. She has displaced the Banana Bread Company from the goathood. So Mary is our new goat. Love it, love it, love it. And we're also 2 supers or memberships away from a Friday stream. So there we go. We're halfway there. I love it. All right, let's get back to the comments. Yeah, so that was kind of that whole Commonwealth thing I think was just really weird. And the whole EU thing, well, yeah, that's kind of interesting too. Biscuit says, I remember when this channel used to be about stocks and investing. Seems like liberal political brain rot now. No, we're mostly, I would say 99% investing, but with an election and how it does affect investing, yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does sometimes pop up, especially on the live stuff. Not as much on the videos per se. That's still pretty much, well, other than tariff stuff, yeah, that's kind of big. But I would, and like I said, and here's the funny thing. I'll be honest about this. Like, I'm maintaining sort of a central point, and that's kind of where I'm, where I normally sit politically. But sometimes if I don't endorse the conservatives, that means that I'm endorsing the liberals. I'm not endorsing either side, to be honest. I'm trying to be neutral when it comes to this, and it's a hard position to be in. So when I mention things, I will mention good stuff for both sides. I'm going to mention bad stuff for both sides as we move forward. So yeah, not really a liberal propaganda machine per se. And I don't think you were saying that, but I just wanted to sort of be clear on that. Is gold on the way down again? I don't think it is. One of the interesting things with gold is that as we have as we have economical turmoil, that does tend to move investors towards gold, because gold tends to be that hedge against, against recession, against inflation, against a lot of different things. So I think gold is still going to have a strong year. Like, I think gold will be up on the year. So definitely love it. Jackie says, I agree. Liberal bashing has become the main topic. It's a shame. Yeah, I mean, and nobody should really be. That's the thing. Yeah, nobody should be bashing the liberals. Nobody should be bashing the conservatives. And this is the thing. As investors, you put aside what your political affiliation is. It's good to understand both sides. So that way there you can kind of look like I like to have a game plan. Like if I'm looking at who's going to win an election, if the conservatives win, how is that going to affect me as an investor? If the liberals win, how is that going to affect me as an investor? So I think that's a good place to be. Sort of have both of those. Like, you can have like you can be like a conservative through and through, a liberal through and through, NDP through and through. It doesn't, to me, that doesn't matter. Not when it comes to investing. When it comes to investing, you got to kind of remove the emotion from it and just look at the parties. Look at what's going on politically, because that will give you the better scope on what you need to do. Vic says, we are a wild bunch and sometimes the chat goes haywire, but nothing is off limits here. Yeah, nothing is off limits. And this is kind of the thing. Like I did sort of spell this out, what was it, on the last live stream? Basically, it's like, you can say what you want, just don't start attacking each other. Otherwise, then if somebody attacks somebody politically, I will, time them out. I'll usually probably time you out first time it happens, but so far that has not happened. And that's good. That is really, really good, because that's not, definitely not it's not the scene that I want to create within our chat for sure. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Guys, we are getting closer to the end. We're not there yet, but I will give you that if you got your last minute question warning. And like I said, a lot of times I will say that and we go another 2 hours, not 2 hours, but another hour. But yeah, anyway, the good old politics. Good time to have a good old sip here. So the next video, we are going to be looking at, and this was the channel members' choice. So they wanted me to do a video on Trump and recession-proof stocks. So that's what's going to be coming up next. That will be out tomorrow if you're a channel member. Otherwise, that'll be ready for Friday. So that's going to be a good one. After that, believe it or not, we're back to the 0 to 100K challenge, because it will be, it'll be the beginning of April. Oh boy. And of course, now I think of the beginning of April, and I, of course, immediately think about the 2nd and tariffs. What can we say? Those are always fun. All right, guys, speaking of tariffs, we got another tariff from the Banana Bread Company, making them our GOAT once again, taking it back from Mary. That also puts a swag meter up to 17. So that is kind of cool. Absolutely. All right. And just give me a second here. All right, here we go. Back to the chat once again. We are, by the way, we're one super, or like I said, a membership donation away from doing another stream. Was there a workers $250 rebate, or did that get canceled? I think there is some kind of a Canadian worker benefit that, and I don't know how much it is, but you can apply for it with the taxes. And I think it gets paid out 3 times a year, if I remember correctly. But you also have to be, you have to have a certain, and I don't know what it is. There's a certain level of, there's like a cutoff. So you need to be not making a ton of money to get it. All right. What's your opinion on Sobo versus Enbridge? I like them both. Enbridge is basically, I would say they're probably the king of the pipelines, and you could argue with Pembina. or sorry, Pemina. Got to be careful not to pronounce that B. But yeah, Enbridge is just massive. I mean, I love Enbridge, and some people, and there are some people that say, oh, well, they got too much debt. And we got to keep in mind, debt is a normal thing for utility companies. So yeah, I do love Enbridge. Now, of course, Southbow, they're a spinoff from what is it, TC Energy. I think they're a fantastic company. I mean, I do love them both. Now, keep in mind that Sobo is smaller, so there is that. But I do think they're both. I think they're both really good companies. I have actually I jumped into that PPLN ETF that I showed in the last video. I did add that to the 0 to 100K challenge. Now that one does have exposure to both of those as well as Pemina, because I think pipelines. And this is, I actually had a comment. Somebody commented saying, "Oh, why are you? Why would you do that? Why would you do that one?" And the reason that I'm doing it is that one of the key things that Canada needs, because, and we all know this, and all parties are kind of agreeing on this, is that we do need to get pipelines from the west to the east. So that's going to be big, I think, for the pipeline companies. Now, I mean, I don't know what the time frame was going to be, but I've heard talk of maybe even using emergency, declaring an emergency to get things done faster. And we don't even know yet if Quebec is going to allow them to move through it. Now, I know that Carney mentioned going to Churchill and then using like the Hudson Bay. I would still, honestly, I'd rather just go to Kingston and use the Gulf of St. Lawrence. I think that to me makes much more sense, because then you're not dealing with icebergs, things like that. But it'd be interesting to see whether or not Quebec can warm up to the idea of letting a pipeline go through. You might have to grease the wheel to get them to agree. But right now, I think it's still a no from Quebec. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. AA says, I think it's okay to talk about politics now and then, here to keep the discussion lively. Yeah, exactly. Like once this election is over, we probably won't be talking about politics very much at all at that point. That's for sure. It's during the election. I do like election cycles. And I think a lot of things like that come through, like a lot of the platforms, they definitely impact us as investors. So that's one of the reasons that I like to sort of keep that fresh. And of course, pretty much once, like I said, once the election's over, even then at that point, most of what we're going to talk about, like with this week, is we will have, whoever wins. Obviously, they will be referenced every so often because it's normally government bills that are impacting companies and things like that. So always good to know. Let's see. Sobo has a great dividend, very good returns. Yeah, they do. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to see if things are finally starting to work a little bit better here. Oh, come on. Seriously. All right. It's still kind of sluggish. I think it's offline for us today. I think it is absolutely offline for us today. Oh well, what can we do? I'm going to do a reboot before the next stream. For sure. Actually, I'll probably do a reboot after this stream. Just so I can, because I have to use this for everything I do pretty much. Rory says northern Manitoba is all lakes and deep muskeg. Yeah, so that could be an issue as well. So, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Churchill idea, and but what can I say? A lot of times we don't get a choice, right? Let's see, Candace, could you look up ET Energy Transfer? How much longer do you think the growth will continue? Thanks. It's a good question. You know what I'm going to do here? Seriously, come on, don't do that. All right. I'm going to close another whole window here, or attempt to. Right now, it's not even letting me click on the window. It's giving me my My little rolling thing. All right, give me a second. I know what I will do here. All right. Oh boy. Yeah. All right, come on. Close window, close. All right, there we go. I got one window closed. So, and all right. Oh, I think I can close. All right, I'm closing a couple of windows. There we go. All right, and all right. Let's see here. Let me give you that there. I'm just closing a couple things here, and then hopefully, it'll give me some control. Because I'll tell you, this is painful. This is painful. Because I would like to be able to do that. All right, I'm going to try. Give me a second. I'm going to try to. All right, I'm going to attempt to close. I'm going to try to close that window there. I have a feeling. All right. No, that's not the one there. It could be. All right, let's do that. All right. Oh, I was trying to close a window so I could open a new window to hook it back up. So that way there we could see what's going on. But it's giving me, seriously, it's still doing weird stuff. It's still doing weird stuff. I think I got to close a lot of stuff here. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to try. All right. Let's try. Okay. What is that? All right. I had something weird open there. All right. Give me. All right. Let me try this here. Oh, come on. I'm actually trying to click to get my force quit window. All right. Yeah, no, it needs a serious reboot. It needs a serious reboot. I'm going to shut down I'm going to force quit all of my Safari windows. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a brand new one. There we go. Or actually, it just opened up the same one. But, it appears to be working. All right. I think that solved it. All right, let's pull this up. I'm going to have to share it again. Just let me present here. Thank you for bearing with me. Holy cow. All right, there we go. Window. And yeah, here it is. All right, bang. I think we're good now. All right, so ET transfer. All right, let's take a look here. ET. Whoa. Yeah, everything's normal. I'm misspelling stuff. All right, ET transfer. Let's see here. Whoops. Oh. All right. Oh, here we are. ET transfer. Okay, so it's a US one. Let's take a look at it here. I was like, yeah, I don't recognize the name. So let's see here. That's pretty good dividend. 6.886 quarterly. All right. Okay. Interesting. First of all, let's take a gander at, I'm going to go to the 3-year on this one. That's not bad. I like the movement on this. I'm going to go into the technical data and check a couple things out here. Return on equity, 12.24%. Not bad. They have a little bit of debt, 172% debt to equity ratio. So that's interesting. Yeah, but they have been growing. So yeah, I mean, keep in mind, you guys know I'm not a big fan of debt, but there can be good debt. So if you're actually using debt to finance expansion of your company and, like for example, utility companies now, a lot of the debt that they have, it's because they have been using that money to expand into renewables and things like that. So that has been helping them quite a bit. So yeah, in this situation here, I think I like what I'm seeing with this company. Now, mind you, they do have a half decent dividend. So depending on where you're holding it, if you're holding it in your RRSP, you're fine. You won't have any withholding tax on that. In your TFSA, though, the IRS will take 15%. It's gone forever. Now, if you're holding it outside of a registered account, they will still take the 15%, but you can apply at tax time for a foreign tax credit and get some of that money back. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I do like this company. Like I said, the debt's a little high. I would of course look in to find out why it's a little high, but even then, 172% is not that bad in this sector, because, and let's go back here. Let's just check and see exactly what they do. So yeah, they have they got platforms of crude oil, natural gas, and liquid natural gas. Okay, so yeah, that's not. Yeah, and they have a liquefaction facility as well. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm okay with them. I think they're okay. Brian says Kingston would need a lot of infrastructure, but it would open up a lot of oil and gas trade. Build the pipeline twice of the size that you think you need. Yeah, exactly. I would even say, make sure, like, I don't want to even say make sure. I was trying to think about thinking about twinning. So twinning is where you basically run a second pipeline right along the first one. And the reason you tend to do that is because, one, you've already got the zoning in place for the pipeline. So it allows you to pretty much double your capacity. But yeah, just double the capacity right up front. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, you're right about Kingston needing more infrastructure. Yeah, there need to be some building there. You'd need to build, you need to build a port pretty much. It would be worth it, I think, if we can't go through Quebec. I mean, if we can get through Quebec, once you get it to like Halifax, there's tons of stuff. There's tons of infrastructure there, and you can add any more infrastructure that you need. So that's just something to keep in mind. Cowboy says trying to go through the shield will be extremely challenging unless it's on pylons. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, Carney came up with the whole idea of Churchill, but I was just like, that one doesn't. I see it being doable, but I think it's still a lot easier just to go to Kingston. A lot easier. AA says, isn't Sobo a new player without much history, except for it being spun off from TC Energy? Well, no, it's, even though it was spun off from TC, I mean, they technically, when TC spun them off, I mean, their history is part of TC Energy. So for example, there's different pipeline projects that were part of Sobo. And I'm trying to remember the name of that stupid pipeline. Keystone. The Keystone pipeline, the one that got shut down by Biden, that was from the Sobo part of the unit that got spun out. So that is because, yeah, Trump said, oh, let's get that back online. And Sobo actually came out and said, nope, we're not going to do it. We've already dismantled a lot of the infrastructure for that. And they said it's just absolutely a no-go. But that gives you an example that was part of the Sobo part of that unit. That was part of their history. Rory says, I'm sticking with Enbridge or Pembina, but for now. Yeah, those are both really good companies. Like, I love both Enbridge and Pembina. So yeah, nothing wrong with that, Rory. Let's see. Jackie says, yeah, I own TC and Sobo suddenly appeared in my portfolio. Nice surprise. Yeah, well, I mean, it's technically a new company, but it's a unit of TC Energy that spun off into its own. Kind of like if you look at Brookfield Asset Management, Brookfield Corporation technically is a brand new company out of the old Brookfield Asset Management, because they were BAM.A, and then they spun to BN and BAM without an A. That happens a lot sometimes, but yeah, there is still technically history there. So even though it's a new ticker and a new unit, and they're now separate from TC Energy, they do have that shared history. All right. Those withholding taxes keep me out of the States. Yeah, understandable. I don't mind. I don't mind. Like, if I'm going to invest in an American stock that has a very small dividend, like growth stocks, I'm usually okay with it, because normally that 15% of something that's really tiny is not very much, but yeah, it does. Yeah, it does cause a bit of an issue sometimes, for sure. All right. And we got a Friday stream. So we'll be back here on a Friday, the Banana Bread Company, in one more time to grab up that final goat position. So there we go. I've only got 4 goat graphics. So, and that also means the swag meter is at 18. So we're almost there. You got to love it. You got to love it. Cowboy says, let's see, tank farms will eat up a lot of land in Kingston, in the Kingston area. Tank farms, okay. And Rory, CU is kicking butt at the moment. Yes, good old Canadian Utilities. Oh, yeah, I still have it up. So I just recently did a deep dive on Canadian Utilities, but yeah, we can still bring them up anyway. I mean, look at this. Let's just look at the last year. They've been doing good. They've been doing good. Like, this was a little bit of downturn, but they've recovered from that. They've recovered. They're doing well. I love Canadian Utilities. There's only one company that I think I like more in this sector than Canadian Utilities, and you guys all know who this is. Good old Fortis. I am a big fan of Fortis, and we'll pull up their 1 year. You can see it's very similar to Canadian Utilities. They didn't dip as badly in this zone, but they're doing well. They're doing well. So, and they're both, for those of you who don't know, they're both considered dividend kings in Canada. That means that they have raised their dividend for 50 plus consecutive years. So Canadian Utilities, I believe they're at 54 straight years of raising their dividend. Fortis, I believe right now we're at 51. I think once they do it this year, it'll be 52. So not too shabby, not too shabby. So these are our two. And for the reality is, I will probably be retired by the time we have a third one. There's nobody even close. I think we've got a few people in the 30s. Okay, I probably won't be retired then. But yeah, we got a few people. We got some companies in the 30s, but nobody else is even remotely close to these two. And that's one of the nice things. Like if you think about it, even if it made sense to cut a dividend, like if things were going horribly wrong, they're not going to do it. These are bragging rights. Now in the United States, they've got quite a few more dividend kings. I believe like Coca-Cola is a dividend king. They've raised their dividend for more than 50 years in a row. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Brian says, I have a US account in my RRSP and don't pay the tax. I had some in a cash account and it's a pain. Extra income tax papers as well. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Like your RRSP, best place for anything from the US, because it's all about, and I haven't talked about it in a while, but we have talked about this before. The reason that your TFSA does get taxed by the US is because the whole rules, the foreign tax, not the foreign tax, but the tax treaty between Canada and the United States, it's designed to prevent double taxation. So anything going into the RRSP will be, well, it's all taxed, 100% taxed when you pull it out as income. So it does get taxed. So the IRS can't tax it because then you would get taxed twice. But now in your TFSA, well, Canada doesn't tax it. It's tax-free. So the US looks at it and says, oh, it's not being taxed. So we can get our 15%. They're only being taxed once by us. That's the reason it happens. And in your non-registered accounts, they will tax you. But they're like, okay, well, yeah, but there's a mechanism in the tax treaty where you can do the foreign tax credit. Yeah, it's more paperwork. It's a pain in the butt. But that's the reason. That's the reason that happens. So yikes. It's the whole idea, all of these tax treaties, they're all about not getting double taxed. And there are some countries that don't have tax treaties where you can run into scenarios where you do get double taxed. But that's never good. That's never good. Let's see. Yes, they store the oil at tank farms awaiting the ships. Okay. There we go. I wasn't sure what tank farms was. But yeah. Oh, you're actually talking about farms with just oil tanks, or as far as I know, maybe I think that's probably more. For some reason, at first I read that as a farm by the name of a tank farm. But yeah, I get it. I get it. I actually did live in Kingston, Ontario, for a year. But I was, that was when I was like in grade 9, and sort of grade 9 going into grade 10 type thing. So, and that was in the Bay Ridge area because at least, yeah, I remember. I think it's called Bay Ridge because I know my high school at that point was Bay Ridge High. So, Jackie says VCI had a massive stock dilution a year ago. Can the recent flat growth be responsible? If you could pull up the 5-year graph and have a look, thank you. Okay, VCI. So, and I've had these on my lists before, a long time. It's been a while since they've been on any of my lists, but here we go. So yeah, so share dilution, well, that tanks your price because you're basically printing more shares, and your price of your stock is basically if you take your market cap, divide it by your total of outstanding shares, that will give you how much your share is worth. So if you all of a sudden create a whole bunch of extra shares, that will deflate your price by that much. But now let's take a look at VCI. Like, all right, so I'm not sure when they did some share dilution, but I'm going to assume maybe here, well, it's hard to say. Like right here, starting right about here. Right here is where the last bear market began, and that bear market pretty much ran until about mid-October, towards the end of October. And you can sort of see in this case here, they turned around here just in, well, they went, for them, it was almost late November for them to pull out of it, but that's fine. I mean, not everybody moves at the same time. Then this is the beginnings of the bull market, and then they kind of went flat at that point. So I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe this is their. It's hard to say if this is where they did their share dilution. I don't know how many shares that they did dilute. So that I'm kind of lost on at the moment. But yeah, that might be part of what's going on. Obviously, if you do share dilute, that's pushing your price down. And if you think about it, if you did some dilution here and all of a sudden you're still maintaining a high price up here, that's actually looks like that's actually kind of healthy for the company, because I have liked this company. Let's take a look here. Now they got a huge dividend yield here, 10%. It's a quarterly dividend, but let's go into a couple of data here and let's take a look and see what we got here. All right. No, there we go. It's down. Look at this return on equity, though. This is kind of amazing number. 53.52%. Now, sometimes when I see that, I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? That's a little high. And I will look to debt to see if there's any kind of debt issue going on, but they've got no debt. Well, they've got a little bit. They got 1% debt to equity. That's fantastic. The return on assets also pretty high, 41.12. So usually when I see them that high, I think something's skewing them, but I don't see anything up front that's skewing them. Now here's something interesting. I just noticed down here, like for some reason, every so often they have a really low dividend here. So that's interesting. So I'm wondering. So one of the things I've noticed with these guys is that they will use the latest dividend to calculate their yield. So, when you average these out, their yield may not be fully 10%. It might be a little bit lower, but I'm looking like for this part here, that looks good. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind when you get some of these dividends that are all over the place. Sometimes you get yield numbers that are kind of high. So normally in a case like that, I almost inclined to go to the site itself and see if they have like a 12-month forward dividend or something like that, just so I can make sure that I'm getting a more accurate number. Because sometimes, as much as I love TMX, sometimes they can absolutely skew things big time. Now I'm just seeing here if there's anything else in here like I wish they would actually have a little bit of information here on Dilution. I wish they had dilution information in here, but they don't. They don't. All right. Mario says, I hold some REITs and pizza and picked up SMAX, HTA, and QQQY on the dip today. Nice. Love it. Love it. Of course, QQQY, that there is an Evolve ETF, and that's the relationship I have with Evolve. It was because they watched that video, my video on QQQY. So I always find that kind of interesting. Let's see. Rory says, I'm torn between ZDY, XEQT, and ZDV. Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty good. I mean, out of all of those, I mean, XEQT for me, I like it just because you got that so much diversification going there. But I do think they're all pretty good stocks, like, ZDV and ZDY. I like them all. I mean, I think BMO is one of the few banks I think that have a pretty good retropar when it comes to their different funds. So I do like BMO for sure. Row, oh, Rory, get all three. There we go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like if I sometimes get into a quandary where there's like, especially if it's ETFs, if there's two of them that I love and I'm like, I just don't know which one I want, I'll split the middle. No problem with that at all. All right. Well, guys, I think we're at the end. This is once again another fantastic show. We're going to be back here on Friday, and I believe Friday. Just a second here. I need to look at a calendar now. No, Monday. We got one more market after Friday, but I think by Friday we'll have a really good idea on how it's all going to end. Of course, one beautiful thing is our next market close, other than Fridays, is going to be next week on the 2nd. So yeah, we're going to have some fun with that. That's for sure. It could be a very interesting day. Oh boy. All right. Let me close that calendar. All right. Well, until then, guys, once again, always love spending my afternoon with you guys. I will see you guys on Friday. Until then, guys, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Well, wait a minute. I got to be big screen. To say goodbye. All right, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your day. I'll see you guys Friday. Bye, everybody.